Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. Today, we're here with Miss Rachel Richards, a great lady, two-time author, former financial advisor, doing some awesome things. So thankful to have her on this episode. So first off, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Chip.
Good deal. Well, let's dive into it. Talk to us a little bit about your life story, if you don't mind.
Yes, I am a lot of things, and you talked about a couple of them. I'm an author, former financial advisor. I'm also a real estate investor. I own almost 40 rental units. And what people find most interesting about me is that last year, at the age of 27, I quit my job and retired, and I'm now living off over $15,000 per month in passive income. So a lot of people ask me, well, how did you do that? So
Yeah,
basically,
that's the next question.
yeah, in 2017, we didn't have any passive income. You know, my husband and I were working full time, didn't have any side hustles or other sources of income, but I'd always wanted to invest in real estate. So that was the first thing we did. We purchased our first duplex early that year. And then later that year, I published my first best-selling book, Money Honey. So we had these two passive income streams, rental income and royalty income, and we focused on growing those as much as we possibly could over the next few years. So fast forward to basically last year when I was able to quit my job. By then, again, we had almost 40 rental units. That was bringing in anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000 per month in profit. And by now, I also have two books, and those in a typical month bring about $5,000 in. We have other passive income streams, but those are the two main ones, and that's how we were able to retire.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's the next question. What about you? Like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
That was killing. Well, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
I love this question, and I've actually never been asked this before on a podcast, so thank you.
Yeah.
So one of them I would say is the fact that I've always had a public speaking fear, actually. I used to be the person in high school and college that would do anything to get out of making a presentation.
Yeah.
It's always been very debilitating for me, you know, getting in front of a crowd and basically totally turning red, stuttering, you know, choking up, and like basically shaking. So it's been something that's impacted my career a lot. And last year, before I quit my job, a college in Florida reached out to me, and they had heard of my book, Money Honey, and they asked if I would be willing to deliver a keynote speech to their students. Now, at the time, even the thought of that basically made me panic. It filled me with anxiety.
Yeah.
But it was also one of those moments in my life where I knew that whether I said yes or no would be a defining moment for me for the rest of my life. I felt like if I said no, I was always going to say no. And if I said yes, maybe it would open the door finally for other things and help me overcome that. So I said yes. I regretted saying yes almost immediately after I said yes because I was so scared and so nervous.
Yeah.
But I hired a public speaking coach. I practiced for months. I mean, hours and hours and hours of practice presenting this speech. And finally, months later, I went to Florida. I delivered the keynote speech. I was confident and poised and really owned the stage. And the energy in the room was great. And it is definitely one of the things I am most proud of accomplishing is overcoming that fear of public speaking and delivering that keynote. So that's the first thing. Super excited I was able to do that.
Awesome.
Thank you. Number two, I would say, is the fact that I graduated from college without debt and without really having any help. When I was a high school senior and I had just graduated, I had already been well versed in finances because I read a ton of books. I've always been a personal finance nerd. So I was scared of taking out student loans. I'd seen what it had done to people. People, hadn't paid them off. Some people I knew until they were 30, 40, 50 years old. And I just didn't want to be crippled with student loan debt for the rest of my life. So I was totally freaked out. How am I going to pay for college? I ended up taking a crazy job. And because before I worked at American Eagle, right, ever since I was 16, I was making paychecks every other week that was like $200. So I knew that wasn't going to cut it. I wasn't going to be able to pay for college working at American Eagle.
Yeah.
I ended up, have you heard of Cutco cutlery, Cutco knives?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up selling those. I went into the interview for what is known as the crazy knife job. And at first I was like, this is weird. But then I was like, well, this is the first time I've been exposed to something where the harder you work, the more money you make. And I knew I could outwork anybody. So I busted my butt that summer. I sold a ton of Cutco. I set a sales record in Louisville, Kentucky, where I was living. And I paid my way through college selling knives, and I graduated without debt. And to this day, definitely one of my proudest accomplishments. So that is number two.
Hustler.
Thank you. And then finally, number three, I would just say overall, I'm really proud that I was able to quit my job last year. Not just that I was able to financially do it, but to overcome my fear and actually go through with it. Because I could have quit my job in 2018, but then I became very scared, right? It's hard to walk away from a career. And for me, it was a lucrative finance career. I knew I could climb the corporate ladder and make a ton of money. And not only that, but I was afraid of what my family and friends would say. I was afraid people would say, you're crazy, or judge me, or not really get what I was doing, which ended up being a silly fear because a lot of people, everyone I know is very supportive and excited for me. But so I would say that's the third thing, is just being able to quit my job and achieving early retirement.
And those are definitely three great things to be proud of. And such a cool journey as far as your story. And
Thank you.
I would consider that to be hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
I thought about this for a lot, Chip. This is a tough question. I think I came up with two answers, actually.
Okay.
So the first one, I was looking online and I found this quote by Thomas Edison, which I really loved. And he said, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
Yes.
And I think that's a great definition. Because to me, that's just, that kind of that sounds like overall life satisfaction, fulfillment, and really enjoying what you're doing and being happy. So I love that definition. I think another one that I was kind of thinking of personally is thinking of your life values, right? What are the most important things to you? It's going to be different for everybody. My husband and I have had this conversation many times, and we always go back to three things: health, family, and freedom. So to me, success is, am I achieving those three things? Am I am I taking actions that are contributing to my health, to my family, to my freedom? And am I prioritizing it in the right order? Is health always first? Is family always second after health? And then is freedom always third? And if I go by that definition, I'm definitely not successful most of the time. Health, for me, I'm very goal-oriented, financial-oriented, business-oriented. So a lot of the times health takes the back burner, and I don't eat as healthy as I should, and I don't exercise as much as I should. So by that definition, I'm not as successful as I would like to be. But I think, that's a really great thing to know, and it's something that I continue to strive for.
Yeah. I think we're all a work in progress on
For sure.
everything. I think that, and then that allows us to, I think, to go through that process of having continued growth.
Yes, absolutely. We're all a work in progress. I love that.
No doubt. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and get those books and show you some love.
Thank you. Yes, both of my books, Money Honey and Passive Income Aggressive Retirement, are available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. And what I'd love to do for your listeners, Chip, is if anyone wants to download my Passive Income Starter Kit for free, you can go to moneyhoneyrachel.com/bonus.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, again, I want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.